Circle spins here. Yeah, I'm glad I made this trip. I went out to another record store, surprise, surprise, in San Francisco to report back and look at their new arrivals bin. It's it's a it's a record store that a lot of people might not like because it's really used records only. They don't have anything new. They don't have these new brand new reissues. No Blue Note tone poets there, but they have an amazing collection of records to dig through. So if you're a crate digger, if you don't mind getting into the records and really getting your hands dirty, then this is the place for you. It's my kind of store. I spent a half an hour there and I needed more time. So what is this record store? It's in the Richmond district in San Francisco on Balboa Street. It's called Noise. And it's a little interesting shop, very small, kind of cramped. If they had 10 people in that shop, no one would be able to move around. It's very, very small, but worth your time if you're a digger. Uh, it's also situated in a great little neighborhood that has restaurants. So if you are done crate digging, you can get some food right afterwards and you get a flavor of this really nice little neighborhood in San Francisco. That's sort of off the beaten track, I would say. So, Noise, it's owned by a fellow who I believe is a jazz musician. When I was there, I think his mom was running the shop, but it's more than just a record store. I think he sells used gear, and I think they also put on performances. In fact, when I was there was a fellow negotiating his performance at the store, but I think they do a lot of their performances now out in front of the store on the sidewalk. But they give you electricity and you can play there, and it won't, it won't be a big band, but it'll be a small kind of a performance space on the sidewalk in front of their store. Really interesting place, good people coming from a good place, trying to bring music into people's lives, and the prices are fantastic. So I bought one record. I'll show you that at the end. But let's take a look at what was in their new Rivals bin that day. So here was their new Arrivals bin. And apparently they had more than one. There was a Kinks record right in the front. And they don't have prices on everything. In fact, the one record I bought did have a price tag on it, but a lot of things, I think she kind of goes to Discogs and gives you a fair price based on what Discogs is listing. Sometimes that can be dangerous. So you see, you've got Partridge Family, you've got Ronco, you've got the Emerald Forest soundtrack. It's just a hodgepodge of different things. Leslie Gore. They don't really adhere to any particular genre or style. They have everything. And to be honest, I didn't look through everything in the store. I was only there for half an hour. Carole King, disco, singles. You don't know what you're going to find here, which is wonderful. If you're like me, you're just looking for stuff, it's great. They'll have their typical things. June Wilkinson, I've never heard of her. They had a couple Randy Newman pieces. Canned Heat. Here's a Rough Trade Live album that was interesting to me. Vicky Sue Robinson. Disco. You don't know what you're going to find in this shop, which is the fun. Comedy records. You've got Cheech and Chong. And they did have another new Arrivals bin with more of the things that were priced. And I didn't film that, but I did. That's where I found the record that I purchased. And I saw a record in there that I considered getting. It was the very first Yesterday and Today record. And it wasn't in perfect mint shape, which is why I didn't pick it up. It was a cutout, and I think it was $14, which I think was a fair price, but maybe not. The cover itself wasn't in good shape, it being a cutout, and the vinyl was okay. Maybe it was very good. It wasn't mint. So you can see you never know what record you're going to find in this place. A Dory Previn record. Rachel Sweet. Hooters. Anne Murray. Holly Near and Robert Gilbert, a Richie Havens record. T-Bone Burnett. Two British quintets, Helen Reddy. These are $5 to $10 records. There's nothing too pricey in this bin from what was actually marked. Tasmanian Devils. Nothing in this bin really jumped out at me as a must-have. Niels Lofgren, I don't know that record. Or another Niels Lofgren. Mahogany Rush. This one piqued my interest, and I did take it out and took a look at it. It's by a band called Club Nouveau, and I don't know much about them. If they're sort of a disco group or synth pop, I don't know. Club Nouveau. Atlantic Rhythm section. Harry Nilsson, this could have been a good one. So, Noise. You're going to get bargains in this store for sure. And ending off with a Kenny Loggins record. So you're going to find some bargains here. Again, they're celebrated. They've been written up in the San Francisco Chronicle. The people love this place. Again, it's a crate digger's paradise. I would say give yourself an hour and a half at least to get through and look at what they have. It's an ever-changing selection of stuff, of course, in this kind of store, and they're selling used records. But it's a very, very interesting place to check out. Let me show you what I bought. I found this record, Chambers Brothers record, and it's a Chambers Brothers Greatest Hits LP. I think it came out in 1970. The Chambers Brothers, they had that famous song, Time Has Come. And that song is not on here because this was put out by the label that they were with at the beginning called Vault. And this is mainly kind of a repackaging of those first few albums they did on the Vault label, not what they did with Columbia. So it doesn't have that stuff, but they kind of package it in a way as a psychedelic album. The cover here is kind of solarized photography and them performing, and the gatefold. It's a double album. I got this for $8, and it was in absolutely perfect condition, not a pop or a click, and it sounds very good. But don't be misled if you see this record. It's not a psychedelic album at all. I would say it's more of a gospel-tinged and rock album. There's not much psychedelic sound going on in this record. Still very good. I love their version of People Get Ready. It was fantastic. And another gospel song, Travel on My Way. Beautiful harmonies. The Chamber Brothers were four guys from Mississippi. They kind of moved out to Los Angeles and then went to New York, and they hooked up with this drummer, Brian Keenan. And Brian Keenan really coalesced them together into a rock band. And apparently they were a fierce live band, amazing group, and there are a couple some live cuts on this LP. Anyway, that's what I found at Noise. Go check it out. If you're in San Francisco and you want that neighborhood feeling, check it out. Noise, San Francisco. Surface Spins, signing out.